Hi there, welcome to my channel Creative Edmo. Today we'll be discussing Meeting Suzanne. It's a beautiful short story written by Sir Michael Morpurgo. I'll explain the entire story and all the difficult words. I have included many pictures for you to understand things easily. So let's begin. But before that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. Just click the subscribe button. It's free. Our story is Meeting Suzanne. So from the title, it seems like it's about meeting a person named Suzanne. But who is this Suzanne? So Cézanne was a French painter who was a great influence on many artists of the 20th century. It means that many artists were inspired by Cézanne and his paintings, and they wanted to be like him and learned a lot from his paintings. Meeting Cézanne has been written by Michael Morpurgo. Sir Michael Morpurgo is an English author, poet and playwright. Playwright is a person who writes plays which are performed on stage. He is best known for his novels and stories for children, many of which have been made into films. Between the years 2003 and 2005, he was named Children's Laureate of the United Kingdom. It's the name of an award. He has won several awards for his work. Now, there's another mystery character in the story too. So we have a mystery to solve while reading the story. We'll discuss about this character later in the story. Before we start with the story, let's quickly have a look at the various characters and their relationships. So there's a young boy named Yannick who is also the narrator of the story. The narrator of the story is the one who is narrating the story or telling the story to the readers. So Yannick is a young boy. Then there's a young girl named Amandine. And there's Mr. Bruno, who has been referred to as Uncle Bruno. He is Amandine's father and Yannick's uncle. So Yannick and Amandine, they are cousins. Flipping through his mother's book, a young boy named Yannick admires the beauty of the countryside of Provence as painted by the master painter Cézanne. Provence is a place in southeastern France and it is famous for its scenery. That is, it's a beautiful place. Countryside means the land and scenery of a rural area. Now you know how painters get inspired by beautiful surroundings, the amazing sunrise, sunset, lakes, mountains, etc. So in the same way, the great painter, the master painter Cézanne was inspired by the beauty of Provence. And he has painted many paintings of that place because it's so beautiful. So Yannick's mother has a book of Cézanne's paintings capturing the beauty of Provence. And Yannick is flipping through that book. Flipping through a book means to look quickly through a book like this. And he is admiring those paintings. To admire means to look at something beautiful with pleasure and respect. So Yannick is quite impressed by the paintings of Cézanne. Here I have included a picture of Cézanne's painting of Provence. So one summer, he gets the chance to go and spend time with his uncle's family who lived there. So Yannick's uncle and his family live in Provence and one summer, he gets to go and stay there with his uncle's family. Yannick soon begins to enjoy his stay, occasionally helping his uncle run the village inn. So his uncle has an inn in the village. Inn is a small hotel or a dining place where people come to eat. So Yannick helps his uncle in the inn sometimes. And Yannick really enjoys staying there. Occasionally means sometimes. One day there's a bustle at the inn for a famous man. The inn's best customer comes visiting. Bustle means noisy, excited activity or movement. So one day there's a lot of excited activity. Why so? Because a famous man who is considered the inn's best customer is about to come. Now imagine you get to know a famous movie star is about to visit your school. So imagine the bustle in your school. How everyone would be excited. How your teachers would be busy preparing for that special event, isn't it? So the same thing was happening here. Now Who is this man and why is there such a fuss about his visit? Fuss means excited or nervous behavior. So who's the mystery man and why such fuss about his visit? Why such excitement and nervousness related to his visit? Let's find out. That evening, my cousin Amandine told me I had to do everything properly because their best customer was coming to dine with some friends. Since such an important person was going to visit with his friends, Amandine wanted that everything should be in order. So she instructs Yannick to do everything properly. He lived in the chateau in the village, she said, and was very famous. Now, this story has some French words, so you must pay attention to the pronunciation. It's chateau. Chateau is a large French country home or castle as shown in the picture. So this shows that the customer must be rich because he lived in a chateau. Now I have included this picture here. This is a picture of the chateau of that famous man in real life. When I asked what he was famous for, she didn't reply. Now Yannick wanted to know about this famous person, but Amandine doesn't give any answers. Questions, always questions, she tutted. Now tutted means made a sound expressing annoyance, that is showing that you are annoyed or irritated. So Amandine is quite irritated by Yannick's questions and she doesn't think it's important to answer him. So without answering, she orders him, "Go and fetch the logs." Fetch means to bring. Logs are pieces of wood. Now why do they need the logs? For the fireplace. Earlier people used to have fireplaces to keep themselves warm during winters. So she orders him to fetch the logs for it. Whoever he was, he looked like an ordinary man without much hair. Who is he here? The important man. He had come to the inn now. And Yannick thought that even though he was famous, but he just looked like an ordinary man. Nothing special in the way he looked, and he didn't have much hair. But I felt very pleased means very happy, when the famous man ate one of my crème brûlée. Now crème brûlée is a French dessert. Dessert means sweet dish, consisting of custard and topped with a layer of sugar. So this is a French dessert. I have included the picture here. It consists of custard and on top there is a layer of sugar. So Yannick was quite happy that such an important and famous man ate crème brûlée prepared by him. After the man and his guests left, we began to clear the table. To clear the table means to clean the table, picking up the dirty dishes and getting the table ready for the next guest. So when that important man and his friends left the inn, Yannick and others started clearing the table. I pulled the paper tablecloth off. Now in that inn, they were using paper tablecloth. You must have seen in some restaurants that paper table mats are used on which the food is served, like how you get food in McDonald's. On the tray there's a paper and then the food is kept on it. So the same way there was a paper tablecloth used in the inn. So Yannick pulled the paper tablecloth off, scrunched it. Look at this picture here. To scrunch means to crumble the paper like this. So he took the paper tablecloth, scrunched it like this and threw it into the fire as usual. As usual means as he normally did. So whenever guests left, this is what Yannick normally did, to discard or throw the used paper tablecloth into the fire. Now suddenly Amandine went rushing past me. Suddenly Amandine came running and she passed Yannick, rushed past him. For some reason, she grabbed the tongs. Now tongs is a device used to pick up hot things as shown in the picture over here. So she took the tongs and tried to pull out the remnants of the burning paper tablecloth. Remnant means the remaining part. So remnant means a piece of something that is left after the rest has gone. So that's why she rushed past Yannick, because she wanted to save the paper tablecloth that Yannick had thrown into the fire. But it was already too late. The paper was gone. It was burned. Then she turned to me. "You fool!" she shouted. "You little fool!" Now she was quite angry and she was calling Yannick a fool. "What?" I said. Now Yannick was quite confused. He couldn't understand what he had done because this is what he normally did when other guests left. So he didn't understand the reason behind Amandine's anger. "That man who just left does a drawing on the tablecloth as a tip for Papa if he likes his meal. You went and threw it in the fire. He's the most famous painter in the world, idiot." Now you must have seen your parents leave a tip for people who serve you in a restaurant, isn't it? Normally, tip is given in the form of money. It's a way to say thank you to someone for the service. So this famous man left tip for Amandine's father in the form of a drawing. And why is that so special? Because he's the most famous painter in the world. So any drawing made by him must be quite valuable and precious, isn't it? That's why Amandine was so angry because Yannick threw that drawing into the fire. She was in tears now. Everyone in the restaurant stopped eating and went silent. Now it must have been quite a scene. First Amandine was so angry, then she started crying because she couldn't save the drawing for his father, and everyone in the restaurant stopped eating and started looking at what was happening between Amandine and Yannick. Then Uncle Bruno came striding towards us, unlike his jolly self. Jolly means to have a pleasing personality, a happy person. So normally Uncle Bruno looked happy and cheerful, but now he looked unlike his jolly self. That is, he looked serious. Stride means to take long steps. So this shows that Uncle Bruno came quickly towards them. Because of all this, people in the restaurant had stopped eating. People in the inn had stopped eating and they were looking at the kids. So Uncle Bruno came quickly to see what was happening. "What is it?" he asked Amandine. "It was Yannick, Papa," she cried. "He threw it into the fire, the tablecloth, the drawing." So Amandine blamed Yannick for destroying the drawing. "Did you tell him about it, Amandine?" Uncle Bruno asked. "Did Yannick know that he sketches something on the tablecloth and leaves it behind for us?" Now, rather than getting angry on Yannick, Uncle Bruno first inquires from Amandine if she had told Yannick about it. He wanted to know if Amandine had informed Yannick that the famous man left behind a drawing on the tablecloth. Amandine looked at me, her cheeks wet with tears. She had been crying for some time now and her cheeks were all covered with tears. Wet with tears means covered with tears. I thought she was going to lie, but she didn't. Now Yannick thought that she might put all the blame on him. He thought that she would tell Uncle Bruno that she had informed Yannick and then Uncle Bruno would be angry with Yannick and not her. But Amandine didn't lie. "No, Papa," she said, lowering her head. Lowering her head, this shows that she was feeling guilty. For example, if you do something wrong and you say sorry to your parents or teachers, you often lower your head, isn't it? Then you shouldn't blame him, should you, for something that was your fault? Now, Uncle Bruno calmly makes Amandine realize that it wasn't Yannick's fault. This shows that he is calm and composed. He is impartial, that is, he treats both the kids fairly. He doesn't favor Amandine just because she is his daughter. So he tells Amandine that it was her fault that she didn't inform Yannick, so she shouldn't blame him. Because it was a normal routine to throw tablecloth into the fire. And that's what Yannick did. He didn't know about the drawing because Amandine didn't inform him about it. "Say sorry to Yannick now." She mumbled it but didn't raise her eyes. She mumbled it but didn't raise her eyes. Mumble means to speak very slowly. She didn't even raise her eyes because she was feeling guilty. So she didn't look Yannick in the eyes. She simply mumbled sorry. Often when you are sad and feeling sorry, you speak very slowly, isn't it? Uncle Bruno put his arm around me. "Never mind, Yannick," he said. Now, after making Amandine apologize for her mistake, Uncle Bruno turns towards Yannick. He talks lovingly. He puts his arm around Yannick. Now, Uncle Bruno knows that Yannick must be quite disturbed because of Amandine's behavior. So he treats Yannick with love, puts his arm around him and tells him to forget about the incident. Never mind Yannick, he said. He said he particularly liked his creme brulee. You made it, didn't you? So the drawing was for you, really. Now, Uncle Bruno knows that Yannick might be thinking that he destroyed his uncle's tip. So he didn't want Yannick to feel such guilt. So he tells him lovingly that the famous man liked the creme brulee and that was made by Yannick. So that drawing, that tip was in fact for Yannick because the famous man liked his creme brulee. Always look on the bright side. It means to look for good things in a bad situation. To look on the bright side. For a moment you held a drawing that was made for you by the greatest painter in the world. That's something you'll never forget. So Uncle tries to teach Yannick that he should look at the whole incident in a positive way rather than feeling sad over the lost drawing. He should take pride in the fact that the greatest painter in the world made a drawing especially for him and he got a chance to hold it for some time. When he pulled the tablecloth and scrunched it, so he got to hold it for few moments. So that's something he should remember. The honor of holding the drawing made specially for him by the greatest painter. So this shows that Uncle Bruno is very kind and loving. He could have been quite angry about this whole incident, but he handled both the kids calmly. Later on, as I came out of the bathroom, I heard Amandine crying in her room. I hated to hear her cry, so I knocked on the door and went in. So Amandine was still upset and Yannick could hear her crying and he didn't like it. He loved he loved his cousin. He cared for her and he hated to hear her cry. So he knocked on the door and went in to talk to her. I'm sorry, I said. I didn't mean to upset you. She had stopped crying by now. So Yannick is quite polite too. Even though he knew it was not his fault, still he apologized. Apologized means said sorry, to make her feel better. It wasn't your fault, Yannick, she said, still sniffling a bit. Sniffle is a sound made by nose when you're crying. She had stopped crying, but still she was sniffling a bit like this. It's just that I hate it when Papa's cross with me. Cross with me means angry with me. He hardly ever is. So that is his father, her father hardly ever gets angry with her. He doesn't get angry with her usually. Only when I have done something really bad. I shouldn't have blamed you. I'm sorry. Then she smiled at me. So earlier we had seen that Amandine was honest. She didn't lie to her father. And now she had realized her mistake that she shouldn't have blamed Yannick. She was a good daughter. She didn't like disappointing her father. She loved him. I lay awake all night, my mind racing. Somehow I was going to make it all right again and make Amandine happy. Mind racing means thinking fast about something. So Yannick couldn't sleep because he was thinking about something. Yannick was quite disturbed about the whole incident. Even though no one blamed him, still he felt he had to do something to make things right. He wanted to make Amandine happy. So he was awake all night and thinking how to do it. Soon I had worked out exactly what and how to do it, even what I was going to say when the time came. When the time came means at the right time. So Yannick had made a plan. He had worked out all the details in his mind, that what he was going to do, how he was going to do it, and what he was going to say. Let's see what his plan was. Next morning, I didn't go for my walk in the hills but made my way down through the village towards the chateau. So normally Yannick went for a walk in the hills every morning, but this time he went down through the village towards that famous painter's chateau. I waited till there was no one about. He waited because he didn't want anyone to see him. I climbed the gates easily enough and then ran down through the trees. So the gate must have been locked. So he climbed the gate and entered the chateau. Normally in big houses like chateau, there's the gate, then there's some place where there are trees or some sort of garden, and then comes the main house. So he climbed the gates and ran down through the trees. So this shows that it was quite a big property since there were so many trees all around. There, surrounded by the vast and threatening forest on all sides, was the old man with very little hair who had come to the inn. Surrounded by means that the trees were all around him, and he describes it as vast and threatening. Vast means something very big. Threatening is something which makes you feel scared. So Yannick must be feeling quite scared entering that famous man's property like this without permission. So whatever he was feeling, he is describing it too by calling the forest as vast and threatening. So surrounded by the vast and threatening forest on all sides was the old man with very little hair who had come to the inn. So he saw the famous man, the old man with very little hair. He was sitting alone on the steps in the sunshine and sketching. So he was sitting outside his house on the steps and he was sketching. I approached means moved towards him. I approached as silently as I could, but somehow I must have disturbed him. So even though Yannick was trying to be as silent as he could, still the painter noticed him. He looked up, shading his eyes against the sun. So he put his hand on his forehead so as to protect his eyes from the sun, like this, as shown in the picture. "Hello, young man," he said. Now that I was this close to him, I could see he was indeed very old, but his eyes were young, bright and searching. So even though he looked quite old, but there was something in his eyes. They were not the eyes of a tired old man. His eyes were young, bright and searching. They were not dull, they were searching. They were curious eyes, like how young people are curious, always asking questions, looking for things, searching for things. All these things are associated with young people. So his body looked old, but his spirit was young. Very important point. Please remember this. Okay. So he seemed, are you Monsieur Cézanne, the famous painter? I asked. Now, Monsieur is Mr. in French. Notice that for the first time, the name of the famous man has been used. Yannick knew that he was the world's greatest painter, and he knew about Cézanne, the master painter. So he thought that this must be Cézanne, the famous painter. He seemed a little puzzled, so I went on. Now the painter was a bit confused. He didn't say anything. So I went on. My mother says you are the greatest painter in the world. So Yannick's mother thinks that Cézanne is the greatest painter in the world, and Yannick tells him that. He smiled and then laughed. I think your mother's probably right, he said. You clearly have a wise mother. So he feels that Yannick's mother is right in feeling that Cézanne is the greatest painter in the world. But why did she let a young lad like you come wandering here on his own? Lad means boy. So he says that your mother is quite wise. Then how could she let a young boy come here on his own, all alone? Wandering here means roaming here, coming here all alone. I explained why I had come and what I wanted. So Yannick explained the whole incident to the painter, how he threw that tablecloth and everything that happened afterwards. He looked at me with furrowed brows and said, now furrowed brows means wrinkled brows showing confusion or curiosity. Like when you don't understand something, notice your eyebrows, they become a bit wrinkled as shown in this picture here. I remember you now from last night. So then the painter's confusion goes away because he remembers Yannick now. Of course, I'll draw another picture for Bruno. So this was Yannick's plan. This is what he wanted the painter to do. And this is how he wanted to make things right and make Amandine happy. To have the painter draw another picture for his uncle Bruno. What would he like? No, better still, what would you like? So the painter first inquires what should he draw for Bruno, what he would like. Then he changes his mind and asks Yannick what he would like. I like sailing boats, I said. Can you do boats? Now this shows Yannick's innocence. He is asking the famous painter in the world if he could draw boats. I'll try, he replied with a smile. Now the painter understands that Yannick has asked this innocently, so he doesn't take any offense. He doesn't feel bad about it. So he smiles and replies, I'll try. Now this shows that the painter is also a kind man. He is not arrogant. To be arrogant means to be unpleasantly proud about something. So even though he is a famous painter, he is very humble, he is kind. He doesn't get angry that Yannick entered his place like that. Rather, he listens to him and agrees to help him by making another drawing for him. It didn't take him long. That is, it didn't take him long to draw. He did it fast. He drew fast, never once looking up. So once he started drawing, he was completely into it. He didn't look up even once. But as he worked, he asked me about where I had seen sailing boats, about where I lived in Paris. He said he loved Paris and sailing boats too. So even though his eyes were fixed to the drawing, he kept talking to Yannick, getting to know him, asking him about sailing boats and his life in Paris where he lived with his parents. And he said he loved Paris and sailing boats too. So the painter tells him that he loved that too. So we can see that the painter is quite friendly. He is kind towards Yannick. There, he said, tearing the sheet from his sketchbook and showing me. So after he is finished drawing, he tears that page from his sketchbook and asks Yannick, what do you think? 4 sailing boats were racing over the sea out and beyond a lighthouse, just as I had seen them in Brittany. Now Brittany is a coastal town in northwest France. Coastal means near the coast, the sea. So the painter was asking Yannick questions about where he had seen sailing boats. So whatever Yannick described in words, the painter brought it to life on paper. Such was the talent and the skill of that painter. He drew the 4 sailing boats racing over the sea, like how you run a race in the playground. So boats racing over the sea and beyond a lighthouse, just as Yannick had seen it in Brittany. So whatever he described, the painter sketched it exactly. But I saw he had signed it Picasso. Now painters sign their work often in one corner of the painting or drawing like this. So Yannick noticed that he had signed it as Picasso and not Cézanne. So here comes the twist in the story. So the mystery person that we talked about in the beginning, you remember, it was Pablo Picasso. So Pablo Ruiz Picasso was a Spanish painter and sculptor who spent most of his adult life in France. He is regarded as one of the most influential artists of the 20th century. So now we find out that it was Picasso and not Cézanne. I thought your name was Cézanne, I said. He smiled up at me. How I wish it was, he said sadly. Then he added, off you go now. So Yannick thought he was Cézanne, but he was in fact Picasso. And when Yannick tells him, I thought your name was Cézanne, Picasso replies, how I wish it was. So this shows that Picasso had deep respect for Cézanne and his art, and he wished that he could be like Cézanne. Picasso was influenced by Cézanne's work too. His art inspired him. That's why when Yannick tells him that his mother thinks that Cézanne is the greatest painter in the world, he agrees with Yannick that his mother is right and that she is wise, because Picasso too thinks that Cézanne is the greatest painter in the world. So Yannick thought that Cézanne was the greatest painter in the world because his mother believed it too. So when Amandine said that the man who had visited the inn was the greatest painter in the world, Yannick assumed that it was Cézanne. So even though the chapter is titled Meeting Cézanne, no one really meets Cézanne. But in fact, Yannick meets the famous painter Picasso, who respects Cézanne immensely. So I hope you enjoyed this story. In my next video, I'll discuss the important questions related to this chapter. If this video helped you, please like, comment and share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon so that you can get a notification when I post my next video. Thank you.